Exhausted by days of travel following the upheaval of life as they knew it, the Bainbridge Island Japanese Americans arrived on April 1st, 1942, at the partially built camp where they were to be imprisoned. Even after a few months, when thousands more prisoners were brought in from Los Angeles, only about half of the planned mess halls were in working order. They were overcrowded and inefficient with overwhelming lines, starting a half hour before mealtime. The food itself was a stark departure from what many were used to. Gone were the fresh fish, vegetables, and rice. In their place, army rations, canned meat and vegetables, hot dogs, white bread, and potatoes. The unfamiliar diet made some people sick, and Spartan conditions took a toll. Ikuko Amatatsu Watanabe was 18 years old when she arrived at the camp.
And our first meal was rice, canned spinach, canned wieners, and we had pudding, bread pudding. It wasn't anything good, just like bread that was crushed. And I swore they gave us sagebrush, that they must have cooked sagebrush, and we never eat canned spinach either, because we were raised in Bainbridge Island. You got fresh everything.
The government was not prepared to feed the huge number of Japanese Americans that had been imprisoned at the camps. Rations in accordance with the government regulations at the time consisted of ration points for processed food, as well as small amounts of sugar and coffee. The daily budget for the incarcerees was only 45 cents a person, about the equivalent of $7 today. On top of this, it was difficult to even move enough food into the camps during wartime. The experience of dining in the mess halls also began to erode the family structure. Yaeko Sakai Yoshihara remembers that first day.
And then the dining hall, it was, of course, cafeteria style and all. But the thing is, when we ate with friends, and so we didn't eat with our families. And so it kind of broke down that family unit. Unless the children were small, like I ate with my friends, and so did my sisters. She ate with her friends, and so it did change family life.
As frustration grew and health declined, the government increased the pressure for the Japanese in camps to become more self-sufficient in terms of food. The camps had been deliberately built in remote, desolate areas with huge tracts of land. It was planned for the prisoners to supplement their rations with food they would produce themselves. In reality, the soil was poor, water was scarce, and conditions were often hostile to agriculture. Still, the Japanese Americans responded with determination and hard work. They brought the soil back to life, established large-scale farms, cultivated familiar vegetables, and raised livestock to replace the canned meats many found unpalatable. Over time, Japanese cooks were also allowed into the kitchens to prepare meals with foods like tofu, miso, daikon, and even fresh fish. This marked a change in restoring not only better nutrition, but also a sense of cultural identity in places designed to erase it. Lily Kitamoto Kodama was just 7 years old when her family was forced from Bainbridge Island and sent to Manzanar. Among her first memories of camp were the meals.
The next thing they put on was, I thought, wow, it's 2 baby weenies. I never saw baby weenies before, but it was Vienna sausage. I learned later. Then the last thing that went on the plate was this ladle full of brown, mushy green stuff that I didn't know what it was. And in those days, we had to clean your plate completely. And the potatoes were okay, and the baby weenies were good, but I took 1 spoonful of that green mushy stuff, and I didn't like it. I didn't even know what it was.
Today, Lily shares these memories with students and visitors as a guide at the Exclusion Memorial. One class mailed her a can of Vienna sausages as part of a thank you package, a playful, thoughtful gift, What was once a difficult memory has become a powerful reminder of how stories endure. Through Lily's voice, others begin to understand not only what happened, but why it must never be forgotten. And in that remembering, they carry forward a quiet promise: let it not happen again.